All right, guys. Up next, we're going to look at the SORD USA active shooter rig, I believe is what they call it. All right, this was 100% a Black Friday gamble on my part. SORD has a very, very strange website. On some of the product pages, they have, 10 plus pictures. They list like the MOLLE footprint of a pouch, so you know exactly if it's going to fit where you want it to fit. They're super descriptive. And then on other items, I think there's some that are even missing a picture. This one was not missing a picture. However, it had some really confusing pictures, and I didn't know what I was getting, but I rolled the dice. All right, list price on this thing I think is right around $80, and SORD, like a bunch of other companies out there, run some really wicked sales sometimes. So I got this for 40% off on Black Friday. Right now they're running 25% off, which this thing is an absolute win at $80, 25% off. All right, so what you get are two perfectly functional plate bags, but you also get this backpack with it. All right, so we'll look at this piece by piece and see how it all plays together. All right, so the plate carrier itself is fairly straightforward. It is literally a plate hanger with not much else going on. One unique feature is it has this pass-through pocket across the top here, and then these kind of goofy webbing tabs here. And that's like the one feature that they do a decent job showing a picture of on the website. That is to retain a pry bar. All right, I don't know how well in reality that would work, because your long portion of the pry bar's coming towards your chest, and then the hook is going back towards you, retained by this thing. You would have to make sure you got a hook that was not as deep as your plate. Otherwise, that thing's gonna be stabbing you in the chest. Other than that, I suppose it works just fine. I don't really have any interest in that feature. You don't have MOLLE all the way down to the bottom because you have these goofy buckles here, but I'll show you what those are for in a little bit. However, what you can fit without any issues is two M4 mag pockets and a radio pocket, which in my imagination for an active shooter rig, which I think is kind of a gimmick anyways, works just fine. You don't need like an ATAC device or anything like that up top. So having your mag shifted up just a little bit should be fine. All right. SORD stuff, I should point out, is absolutely made overseas. It's an Australian company, and I'm pretty sure this stuff is produced somewhere else in Asia. It becomes apparent when you see the buckles that they use. They're not quite right, and the materials feel a little bit off. However, I've used a bunch of SORD products in the past, and I haven't had any issues with them. Plus, having a U.S. storefront in Kentucky, I'm pretty sure they would back their stuff up without any issues. All right, this is not Condor. All right, you've got Velcro field up top, and then looking at the back, it is very much the same as the front. You don't have the buckles on the bottom here, so you still have your four rows of MOLLE. All right. You get shoulder pads, which are trifold in design. All right, and they are secured with Velcro inside the strap, which I'm a fan of. It keeps it in place. All right, and then you have a webbing drag handle here with the little chunk of tubing in there, so it's not going to cut your hand if you try to use it. You have a lot of adjustment on the side straps with just a webbing retainer here, so absolutely get that where you want it and then tape it. And then you get a very nicely padded mesh plate pocket there. Right, this padding is very minimal, so it doesn't push those plates too far off your body, but it's just enough to allow for some airflow. I have medium E-sappies with backers in here. There is a little bit of slop, but for an $80 rig, I don't think that's a bridge too far by any stretch. It's clearly designed to fit large plates if needed. Right. However, it's doing the mediums without much slop. Right. All right. So that is the plate carrier, or as far as I want to go on the plate carrier for now, and we'll come back to that in just a little bit. This bag that came with it is kind of an interesting design. Right? You've got Velcro field up top, and this kind of very large flap for the closure. There's a big flat pocket on the inside of the flap here. Not necessarily designed for anything specific, but a little bit of means of organization there for smaller items. And then it has kind of an interesting closure. It's got this drawstring here to cinch that closure down, and then it's got a center zip to open it up down almost to the bottom, but not quite. Internally, there's not much going on other than a very generous bladder pocket with a hanger up here. So you could absolutely keep a bladder in there if you wanted to, and still have plenty of usable pack below it. Right. Looking at the back of the pack, you have some very crude straps here with a good bit of adjustment on them. But what those straps also do is they disconnect, and it allows you to mount it directly to the plate carrier, and then around the sides here, if I can get some slack in here, to the bottom of the front. And then obviously you would do that on both sides. And if you wanted a little bit less flop in this, you could run it through the shoulder pads, like if you didn't want self-access. But if you want to retain self-access, you just run it over the top. And then if you need to access it, you just pop one side off, swing it around to the other side, and then when you're done, reinstall it and you're back in business. All right. There's plenty of packs that attach like that. It's not a novel concept. The Adapt pack has been doing it for a long time. The Tactical Tailor stuff, I think Mil-Spec, Monkey, whatever, yeah, he had one. So it's not new, but for an $80 plate carrier to include, in my opinion, a very good basic plate carrier and a fairly good sized direct mount pack is a crazy deal. And then obviously there's some webbing on the outside here. You've got 6 columns of usable webbing on the sides there. I think it's an incredible bargain. SORD is not giving me any money for this at all. However, if you are just trying to find an in-stock plate carrier, it's tough to go wrong with this. Unless you are morally opposed to using MOLLE pouches, this thing is incredible for the money that you're going to pay. All right. If you guys got any questions about how this fits together or how it works or anything, please hit me up in the comments. But I don't think there's a whole lot more that needs to be said about this thing. $80, it's a win, especially when it's on sale. Thanks, guys.